What's up, family? It's Conscious Thought 101 on my shine. For me, it's been a sad day from that Tyre Nichols state jury verdict. A lot of people know they got this all-white jury, 8 women, 4 men, that acquitted the 3 cops that did not take the deal. The 3 out of the 5 that did not plead guilty in the federal case, they beat the state charge. All of them unanimously not guilty. Even the news reporters can't even believe it. I'm calling jury tampering on a federal trial too. I am. We seen the footage. The young man was calling for his mama while he was getting beat. The defense during the trial injected a stolen ID and credit card that was supposedly reported stolen October and November, the previous year before the incident. Now tell me this. A stolen credit card and a stolen ID. Do that sound like somebody, an associate, could have left it in there? Everybody might not have a wallet. They got their ID and credit card or debit card tied together with a rubber band. We never seen that before. We never done that. Right? Now, if this card was reported stolen, do you think he would still have it in his possession to use? You can't do nothing with it. Who lost their debit card or credit card and reported it stolen? You think once the person tries to use the card and it's not active, you think they're going to keep it? And for a stolen credit card, you don't need the other person's ID. How you think credit card scams just run amok? And surely, I would have to assume he didn't look like the person. We don't know if it's male or female, whose idea it was. So they criminalized him, or they attempted to put him on trial. But like the prosecutor said in a closing statement, if that was the case, why did they find it? Why did the cops not search the car right then and there? Notice when they pulled him out, and they mentioned they snatched him to the ground. During the trial, one of the cops was talking about after they basically immobilized him through heinous acts of torture, they put him on the A-frame of the car. Now, as black folks, we know we'd have been harassed in the 90s and by detectives in inner cities, etc. Oh, suburbs too. But when these detectives, use their harsh tactics, they pull you out. Where are they putting you? When they tell you to get out that car, they're going to take you to the back of the car or to the front of the car, not by the door. Put your hands on the car, on the hood or on the trunk. They're going to ask, one is going to ask out questions, your names and all that. The other one is going to toss the car, front to back, trunk Seats, glove box, everything under the seat. They're tossing the car. First thing they do. One, they're going to line you up on the car. Hands so they can see them. They're going to search people one at a time while the other one is going through the car. Not beating soccer kicks to the head and then handcuff you and put you on the side of the car. They maced you 50 times. Another thing I find intriguing, they were on video camera, on body cam, bragging. And there was another camera too, another set of cameras that we're going to get into. Bragging about throwing haymakers, rocking them, etc. And the cop that took the plea in the federal trial and testified, I forgot his name. Was it? No, it wasn't Emmitt Martin III. I think it was Desmond Mills, the dude from Jamaica. Originally, he's Jamaican from Connecticut, and he's testifying against the other three cops. And the lawyers asked him, "What is a haymaker?" And you know, the cop testified on what a haymaker is. We know what a haymaker is. And what the lawyer asked me, what is rocking him? He was beating the F out of him. And then they show the one cop come and soccer kick Tyre, rest in peace, in the head and the face while he's down on the ground. Believe they might have kicked him twice. If that one kick, the guy was running and kicked him in the face and head. How could they get off? You could see so much video of the violent interaction. They had some police use of force expert. Oh, that's within reason. You see, he wasn't on his stomach and they didn't have his arms all the way. They were effing him up. That's why he ran. He knew what it was. He knew exactly, that's why he ran. He knew exactly what it was. He ran for his life. Immediately, he knew this ain't a good outcome. They ain't pull him out and ask his name, get the F out the car. You know, and they, so they try and victimize him, they try and cover it up. They attempted to put his mom on trial, but that got cut short. It's amazing how the jury is instructed to go by the law, not bias, not this, not that. Go by the law. Did what from the testimony and what you see was that breaking the law. That's what I call a jury tampering, when they not guilty across the board unanimously. So, brings up the skycop cam. These Einstein idiots didn't know that it was cameras around the neighborhood watching them and the whole incident. And I was surprised it wasn't that much media coverage during the trials. The Fed trial came first. So I'm going to throw this theory out, because that skycop cam just added more evidence to the body cams. The skycop cameras, my theory is that they're not just in Memphis. They're placed there covertly to catch incidents like this, these abusive videos. whose job it was with the Scorpion Unit to pull over cars, search for drugs, to confiscate your money, your home, your cars, all your possessions if you are caught with drugs. They're not detectives. They don't investigate. They just, blanket the area, pull people over, and they're supposed to search, find a reason to search for drugs. So I'm thinking with this skycop camera system that when they catch an incident like this, the cops are not going to turn themselves in. They're going to get ahead of the public outrage, lock it down until the trial, suppress it in the media. They're gonna see everything. They're not gonna make any announcements. The media is not gonna know. The media elites or heads of the media, they will be told, this is what happened. Suppress it. Don't let it get out. We don't want no public outrage. Because we done lost enough money with police killing unarmed black people. We don't want to lose no more money. We want to keep it how it is. Everybody get paid. Everybody comfortable. Just, day-to-day things. Just keep it normal. Let's focus on politics. Trump in office. Obama said this. Hillary said that. And that Indian lady, Kamala Harris, yeah, she said something. It's irrelevant, but let's just focus on that. But we found out, but the trial was not national news. So we can expect when it does come out that we're not going to know about the trial. They're going to wait for us to forget. The skycop footage will be shown in trial, like what's that dude named Kyle Rittenhouse. The feds had a plane surveilling over the riot, and that came up in his case in court. But what they showed was him as look in the crowd in green dots. So excuse me, right before Rittenhouse ran from the crowd, because he did something to him. Some people say he pulled out a gun on him, or they identify him as the person pointing a rifle at innocent people. And it showed the whole crowd move. It showed him take off and the little green dots going in his direction. That was from the Fed surveillance. So they have everything they need. It could just be manufactured in a certain way for a guilty or not guilty verdict. They could omit things. But this right here, ain't no way unless it's jury tampering. Or those 8 white women and 4 white men from the other county gave those ruthless, heartless officers the white supremacy treatment. They treated them as Klan members just doing their thing, beating up and killing black folks. That's how I look at it. They gave them that special treatment. It could be some resentment against Carmelo Anthony. I don't know. But it's real suspicious how a jury unanimously voted not guilty with all of that evidence. It's literally unbelievable. It goes back to the time of slavery, convict leasing on plantations after slavery ended. 1800s, after emancipation, up through the early, really up to World War II, how it was a federal crime to convict leasing and hold somebody in peonage, but the juries in the South would either not convict, or the Klansmen would do witness tampering, or if they weren't Klansmen, the plantation owners do witness tampering, or if the jury convicted, it'll be a slap on the wrist with the time. If the person will ever do time, they might get exonerated or right before they turn themselves into jail. Or just don't go or get a fine and don't pay it. And the judge will just like put it on record, you got convicted for this crime and this fine and this sentence, but you'll never see a day in jail, you'll never pay. You know, good old boy system. So that's the trend I'm seeing with these skycop cameras. Now that every cop believes in the city that they have cameras watching them, they might do things a little different, but we know how arrogant some cops can be. Yeah, do it anyway. Oh, there's nothing here. They know it all, and then the whole shift is up in a federal investigation because somebody knew everything and was hard-headed, too arrogant to ease up, check your pride and your ego, and handle the situation as you were trained. Now with the Fed case, the first trial, there's a total of 3 trials. The state case is the second one. The Fed case, the first trial was last year, I think it was about 7 months ago, for federal civil rights violation and conspiracy. Now, they did not get found guilty on all of these serious charges, and one of the prosecutors literally turned red and pulled each juror to ask them, was that your verdict? Was it unanimous? And they all said, yeah. In light of the evidence. Well, something is going on that's not making sense. So when you get a conviction, like in the George Floyd case, since people don't like to see cops convicted, they just, I don't know, are they altering the jury, or the jury just decide that it's not criminal what they see? Their definition of criminal is not beating an unarmed black person to death. That's not a crime to them. They just changed their perception. They went with the good old boy Reconstruction system of what's right, what's wrong. You know, if you black and you're dying at the hands of police, that is correct. Obviously, when it's the other way around, if a black person is defending himself or herself, that is not correct. You're supposed to lay down and take it until the agitator feels like you had enough, whether you are dead or not. And they're not going to convict the white agitator either. So, with that guilty verdict, they did have some guilty verdicts. Justin Smith, guilty on obstruction of justice on a federal level. So with this obstruction of justice, carries up to 20 years. Demetrius Haley was convicted on deprivation of rights, count 3, conspiracy to witness tamper, count 4, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to obstruct, and deprivation of rights. I said death and bodily injury. So, somebody got an unreasonable force and a deliberate indifference. Both carry life on the federal level. But from my understanding, they were told life is off the table. right? The conspiracy to obstruct is 20 years. Obstruction of justice is 20 years. They can run them separate or concurrent. The guy that testified, that pleaded guilty on the federal level and testified in state trial, none of them received their sentence yet. The guy that testified, he said in open court, in state court, the lawyer told him that you don't know how much time you're getting. Correct. He said you could get life, or you could get 15 years, or you could get probation, because the judge is waiting, the federal judge is waiting for the state trial to complete before he sentences everybody that was found guilty and that pleaded guilty. Darius Bean pleaded guilty in federal court on count 4 of obstruction. So that's a max of 20 years. But for some reason, I don't think they're going to get maxed out because of how the jury in both cases reacted with the guilty on this and that and not guilty on that. I don't believe that they're going to get maxed out. I just don't believe that. Who else? Demetrius Haley, deprivation of rights. Found guilty on deprivation of rights. Oh yeah, we went through him already. Darius Bean, federal. Justin Smith, obstruction. Darius Bean pleaded guilty to the plea and testified obstruction. Emmitt Martin III pleaded guilty to violating Tyre civil rights, excessive force, and conspiracy to witness tamper. With that, I'm not sure how that's going to go. That's up in the air. And Desmond Mills pleaded guilty to federal charges of excessive force and conspiracy to witness tamper in federal court, November 2nd, 2023. Hold on, I gotta go back over something. 2 pleaded guilty. 3 pleaded not guilty. The state case, they had the 3 in. Okay. The state case was the murder charge. That was the state murder, aggravated assault, and official misconduct. That's where the 3 pleaded not guilty and were exonerated. But Desmond Mills pleaded guilty to Fed charges, and Darian Bean and Emmitt Martin III in federal court. Emmitt Martin and Darius Mills pleaded guilty in federal court. Count for obstruction. Okay. Because it's looking like when I was taking the notes, I might have mixed the state and the federal case notes together. But I gotta look something up right quick. Oh, shit. Man, this is getting on my nerve. All right. Cool. Oh, boy. look this up right quick and make sure I'm giving the right information. Be on that one, that's dead. But if there's any corrections, I'll put it in the link. So nobody's looking at life. It's the third federal trial for a civil lawsuit and of $550 million against the city of Memphis, police department, and the individuals themselves. Excuse me. So another trend is juries are not feeling black people being murdered by cops that didn't commit crimes. So we're literally going back in time. But if they end up getting a couple of years apiece, I really don't think it's going to be national news. They're going to keep a lid on it. It'll be on the local Memphis news, but I really don't think it'll be national. I'm really feeling like they're going to get some type of deal just because they were treated as white supremacists with a badge doing the work of white folks. You know, you ever go to a neighborhood that you're not from, some white suburb, you know, you want to go into a Dollar Tree or Dollar General or whatever, and there's some black Sambo in there. He's speaking to everybody, so happy to see all the white folks in there, and you see your black ass, and he just shut up and his whole facial expression changed. That's how the jury looks at the cops. You know, you're a good Negro. You're going to point those out and protect us and warn us about them. He's their pet. And that's what those cops are. They are the pets to suburban white folks that don't give two craps about a Negro being beat to death that did not commit a crime. Keep an eye on that sentencing. That should be coming up. So it should be this year for the federal sentencing. So just keep in mind if there's any discrepancies or if I find an exact date, I will put it in the comment section. So it just takes a lot out of me to see the video and to watch the trial with all the mounted evidence plus the skycop camera, and for them to literally walk away from a murder trial. It takes some out of you to see that. And for them to identify as black makes it worse. That's stuff that white cops do. You know, even some Latin cops, they don't care about abusing black people. They do it because they can. Until they can't. You know, but if they were so innocent, they would not have gotten fired or even arrested because that was not company policy. I don't care what expert trying to get up here and whitewash it. If it was all within company policy, they wouldn't have got fired. They wouldn't. The union would have stopped that. But, you know, here we go. We have another unbelievable event. An unbelievable verdict. Man. I gotta move on from this because I'm getting too emotionally involved in the outcome. Like, share, and subscribe. Conscious Thought 101 with Marshawn. See y'all next time.